Blessings, community. My name is Erin Washington. I'm the founder of Soul Center here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm so happy to introduce you to a fantastic, amazing, creative genius, Kristin Daniel. She's a strategist coach with Soul Center. Soul Center is a grateful member of the Artist Giving Circle. Kristin, how are you doing, sister, in Atlanta? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. The only complaint I have is that it's November the 11th and it's still 70 degrees outside.
Exactly.
So that's a little bit hot for me, but
Kristen, we need this warmth while we have it. Come
we
on.
need it for COVID, right? Because
That's right.
so I respect that, but the selfish side of me who loves winter weather is a little bit like, okay, guys, you had your turn.
It's
But
time.
you're doing good, and the energy is good here, Erin. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, like how are you feeling post-election? Like what feelings are you feeling? How is the community in the Southwest, which I know you live in? How you feeling about it?
The feeling is good, right? Like, as you know, we have basically flipped the state blue on a presidential
Flip,
level.
flip,
Flip, flip.
flip, flip. That's right.
Big deal.
Big.
And it didn't happen overnight.
Mm.
This, of course, the demographics of the Atlanta of Georgia has been changing, but there has just been this amazing effort on the ground to reduce voter suppression,
Mm.
more people engaged, help them understand their rights for voting. And you see the outcome. This is the outcome of helping people realize like you have a voice and your voice is going to be counted. And I'm really proud to be a Georgian right now.
That's right. How are you feeling around like some of the Black women organizers in space here in Atlanta?
Oh man, I mean, I'm so inspired, particularly by the work of Stacey Abrams, her work with Fair Fight Action, as well as Insei Ufat, who
Yes,
is
yes.
amazing, right? Like with the New Georgia Project. So they've really been doing their thing for, I would say New Georgia Project has had work in the making for at least a decade.
Mm.
So they've been about this, right? Like before the gubernatorial election. But I think our last election where, Stacey Abrams almost became the governor, just really, it created an awareness
That's
to
right.
people
Right.
who may not have been as close to the election process or to civic engagement um,
Mm.
as before. So now it's just their work, you see it, work of many volunteers,
Mm.
work of people who really care about the city and the state,
That's right.
people who, one thing I love about being a Georgia Peach is that some of us have a really interesting way of being tough on
Mm.
folks, but delivering it in a way that is packaged in a very Southern way.
Yes, I've
Right?
experienced that in Atlanta.
Right? So now we have to tell Trump, bless your heart,
Mm.
right? Like, and call it what it is, right? And that we're not afraid to have our voice heard. So
Mm.
I'm just super inspired by the work of the women on the ground. And now we have that next step, right? We got to flip the Senate, man.
It's literally going to be based on
Yeah.
Georgia's election.
No, literally, like
Literally,
yeah, this is it. I
it's
mean,
our time.
it's our time. It
That's
is
right.
literally our time to flip the Senate.
So I guess my last question is, how do you feel like this impact and change in the political scene can impact creative artists here in Atlanta?
Yeah. So like I said, I'm a Georgia Peach. I grew up here in Atlanta metro area. And one of the most impactful years of my life to date, I'm 37, but is when I was in fifth grade. And
Mm-hmm.
I spent the summer at a summer enrichment program through the Arts Exchange. The
Shout out our
Arts
exchange.
Exchange, right? And the Arts Exchange, we had the summer enrichment program, It was primarily sponsored by the National Endowment for the Arts. We were in this amazing kind of like old building with this theater named after Paul Robeson. So we learned theater techniques. We learned African dance, so West African dance, ballet, modern, jazz, oil painting, acrylic painting.
Wow.
So like we were exposed to so much, even stand-up comedy. Right? And so that summer really helped me see who I was, and that's why I never forget it. They helped us thrive as creatives, and at the time we didn't even know that's what we were there to do, which is to find our creative voice. And the reason I bring up the Arts Exchange is because while the organization is still around, the building, which I think was a very historical building, got torn down for development. Atlanta's a very development heavy place, right?
Building.
And so when you think about elections and being involved at every level, like from a civic perspective and how it affects the creative class and creative artists, I think of how that there were times where they cut funding from the National Endowments for the Arts, which is why that building could not be kept up. And then, the building being a part of Arts Exchange wasn't as a priority for, in the Atlanta art ecosystem as it could be. So you see this like on a national level, okay, National Endowment for the Arts, like where's the funding going? Like that's something that comes as a result of who we put in place to make decisions on our behalf. And then on a local level, who we have in power, even on a local level, has an influence on, how things are zoned and, what should be taken down and what should be remain kind of sacred to the city and how it's seen as a place of importance. And so that's an example of my child will never experience the Arts Exchange in the way that I experienced it in that to me, a very important building, the building that it was in. And so us being more involved in elections and really seeing it beyond like these the things that we think about more divisive, in terms of fiscal policy and social policy, but on a level that affects creatives, it's certainly related to one another. So the more that we can get people involved in the voting process, the more they feel empowered to really understand how to shape the world around them and have their voice heard.
Thank you so much, Kristin, for talking to me. You are a stalwart here in Atlanta and a very important person to me and to Soul Center.
Oh, likewise.
Thank you so much for your ideas and thoughts. Shout out to the YBCA community. We love you.
Yes, I love the work they're doing. It's amazing.
Yes, we're checking out from Atlanta. Come visit us soon.
Yes, come to the South.
The South is back.
Yes, we're here.